as this begins in 3, 2, 1.
This is the morning stream, but it's not in the morning, it's at night. TMS PM.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. It's a PM edition for everyone, not just patrons today. Everyone gets it because this week was so effed that we felt like we had to do a little extra something, and I'm happy to do it. But
that's right, between COVID tests and doctor visits and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, you want to know the worst thing about that COVID test? So here's the deal. Let me give a quick update.
Sure.
I'm on antibiotics now. Started them yesterday. Third pill this morning. I'll take another one tonight. It's 10 days worth. It's a sinus infection, all confirmed. Everything I thought it was, it is. Haven't had one of these in 15 years, so it's been a while, but there it is. And it's got nothing to do with COVID. The COVID test came back negative.
Of course.
All that's fine. And we talked about it on the show, I guess. But here's the problem, and I'm still a little bit annoyed by it. Part of the deal this week was if I needed to get an appointment with my doctor, they needed me to get a test confirmed one way or the other first, right? I had to have COVID test before I went in there. And some have said, well, my doctor's does COVID in the... I understand everybody's different. Okay, I get it. But this office didn't, so they wanted me to get an outside one. So I did.
Yeah, my GP doesn't either. I can't get a COVID test at my doctor's office for whatever reason.
I don't think it's as common as some people are suggesting. I think you and I are more normal than they are. But anyway, so I get the test. It comes back negative. That was a whole ordeal. We've talked about that, right? The whole running back and forth, forgot my license. Then they did the thing, had to do it myself, nearly blacked out from the pain. Waited way too long for the results. They took more than their 24 hours, they told me. Finally got it, negative. Great. Now's the time you make the appointment with the doctor. So I call the doctor's office. I say, hey, I was told that I had to get this test first. I'm in tons of pain here, but I did what you said first. And I got the test. It came back negative. I need an appointment. Oh, we've got one that opened up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Do you want to come in for that? Or 9 a.m. tomorrow, 9:30, whatever it was. I said, yeah, that'd be great. I'm going to have to shuffle some things around, but I'll be there. Because I don't want to delay it, right? I want to get this done. Let's get this over with.
Exactly.
So I go in, I cancel the show. As you guys know, there was no show as a result. I went into the doctor's office. I sit down, and Dr. V, I call her. I don't want to say her real name. I don't want to violate her HIPAA. Just kidding. Anyway.
You don't want to dox the doctor.
Well, so I get there, and there's a pregnant lady who does all my vitals. Not that it matters that she's pregnant. That was just a notable thing. She was very pregnant.
Is she always pregnant?
I don't know if always, but she was at least 8 months pregnant. Very pregnant.
When they eventually have their baby, do they get fired and a new pregnant lady is hired to take her place?
Yeah, they swap her in, and now the new pregnant lady takes your blood pressure. But
excellent.
The good news is my blood pressure was great. I lost weight and didn't know it.
Good
stuff all around, just for that initial checkup stuff. And then she says, all right, describe your symptoms. I told her everything. She leaves, and I'm waiting for the doctor. It's starting to go really long. And I'm on my phone trying to entertain myself. And I'm like, boy, I'm glad I canceled TMS because there's no way this ends before, it's just going way too long.
If it was, like, originally it was going to be an 8 o'clock appointment, you're like, I'll totally be back in time for TMS. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
And it's a good thing I didn't, because had it been then, we'd have canceled even more last minute than I did, because they went so freaking long before I saw the doctor. She finally comes in. And she goes, I am really sorry. And this is all fine, but this is the weirdest thing. And maybe Dr. Jerry Tolbert can confirm that this maybe happens or something, but they got trolled, I guess. Here's what happened. Somebody had an appointment for 8 a.m. or 9:30. Sorry, I keep screwing the time up because I changed it. They had an appointment for the time that I had it. That's why I got it, because they canceled it. So I'm using that slot. Well, it turns out that person came in when I did, and I saw them as I was in the waiting room, and I went, I thought I was the only one. Well, anyway, they're there for their normal appointment, and they had never canceled it. At least that's what they said. So they're all confused, trying to figure out what's going on. So they call the number back of the number they supposedly used for the cancellation, and when that person picked up and knew it was the doctor's office, they went off on this like Yelly Phone Rant about how masks do nothing, and we're all tools of the government, and Chinese this and that, and COVID is fake, and this crazy like troll anti-COVID or anti-mask, anti-vax thing. Just freaking out on the phone to these guys, and they were just like, What? How did they cancel this other person's appointment? So there's all kinds of questions, right? Like, why?
Yeah.
But that's what took them so long. So they literally had to do her appointment, then me. So I basically sat there for two people's appointments worth of time. The second half was mine. It's fine because we cleared the show. It's fine.
Sure.
Here's the other part that bugs me.
It's funny because you're experiencing, and I say it's funny. I know I'm still saying that. I'm trying not to say it.
Yeah.
But this is funny, coincidental funny, that you're experiencing the same thing our hospitals are because there are anti-vaxxers in there taking up all the beds.
Yeah.
It's hurting the people who come in for other reasons. And you just experienced that in the doctor's waiting room in the office.
It was almost worse because this is like a person who literally, it's like one of those people who just gets up and goes, don't, like in the middle of a concert or something, like someone's got a point to make. It's like, go make it somewhere else. Do it something
like
else.
Michael Stipe.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Just kidding.
So it just effed everything up. Now here's what made it a little bit worse, and then everything got better.
Okay.
She says, at one point, like, I don't know, I'm there 2 hours total, and maybe in the hour and a half point where I'm talking to her, it occurs to me, no one has asked about my COVID test. No one has said
Oh, yeah,
a word.
no kidding.
And I thought, now hold on.
They didn't. Wait. Did they ask when you made the appointment?
No, because they
Really?
did when I first tried to schedule one the other day, and they said, no, we need you to get the test first. And I said, okay, I'll do that. This one, I didn't mention it. I just said, hey, I need to get in there for whatever. And I don't know if they just forgot or if they... You know what it might be? So now the COVID test is part of your universal healthcare profile thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so it'll
they
show
probably
up.
were able to look it up.
Yeah, so that's probably what happened. But I was still a little annoyed that they were like, do not enter without COVID test. And then when I got there, they're like, yeah, get in here. Let's take it. Like I feel like they should at least acknowledged it since it was such a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm mainly just being a baby about it. But at the end of the day, yesterday, it was great. She got me what I needed. She warned me against Flonase. Told me to try a different kind because Flonase is, will come back with a vengeance sometimes. You don't want to do that. Do it, sparingly if you're going to do it or whatever. I said, hey, how about them neti pots? How about those? I've been told those have been around for 1,000 years. And she says, oh, I wouldn't do those. I said, really? She goes, yeah, instead you get the kind that look like a big nipple on the top. And then you fill it full of the saline stuff.
Oh, yeah, and you squeeze.
And you squeeze it through, yeah.
Yeah.
She says those are the best because you get more pressure.
Oh.
And it gets more out of there, is her thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
I think that's what Tina uses. Tina uses one of those. She still says, you should go use your neti pot. Well, you're already using something better. Oh, I guess I didn't do her voice today. Brian, you should go use your neti pot.
Oh, man. You almost brought unbalance to the force, but you swung
I did. I know. By doing a different Tina voice accidentally. Yeah.
Whew. Phew, we dodged a bullet, everybody. But anyways, the point is, and there's me saying the point is, I'm trying to not do that anymore. I got things like that too, I'm trying to cut down on.
Yeah, we need to police each other. You police me on the funny thing is,
yeah,
and I'll police you on the point is.
The point is, yeah, we need to call each other out, have an animated GIF pop up automatically every time it happens. Yeah. Anyway, so at the end of the day, I'm taking these stupid giant horse pills. They're huge.
Yeah, really.
They're so big. They got 25-point type on them. They're so big. Just huge pills. But they're supposed to be kind of standard.
Right.
They're supposed to be standard. They're not bothering me. I'm not having any issues with them or, any kind of sensitivities. And should be good in a couple days, It's a 10-day run, but, she says within 3 days with a bad sinus infection, you should be seeing, light of day. And I said, all right, thanks. And I did sleep pretty good last night. I couldn't really breathe very well, but I slept better.
Good.
My paranoia, Brian, was that I was going to wake up yesterday, get ready for that appointment, and go, I feel better today. And if this is leaving me now, and after all of this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now it's on its way out, and you've, expended all this energy and time. And
I'm so irritated, but it wasn't. It got worse, so it was fine, I guess. Anyway, DJ Stengel, I'm not kidding. I wish I had them here. They're huge pills. They're like, maybe they just generics are bigger or something. Let me see if I have a comparison. It's almost the size of this end of this cable dongle.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like
really?
a great big, not that
length,
wide,
but not the length, but not the width.
That yes, the length and then the width is about the same as the length. but they're that big.
Yeah, okay.
If you pictured that square, like half of that wide, that's how big it'd be.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a big pill. I'm a 6'3" guy. I make big things seem small. If you know what I'm saying. All right.
I do.
Anyway.
Hey, Scott, I got to tell you, man, I lost the game.
Uh-oh.
The game we were all playing.
No.
Yeah. So Monday night, and people are like, what game? Well, I get to that, people. Monday night, Tina and Tristan and I went to this thing called Christmas in Color. And I'm sure there are these everywhere, right? Because there's already 2 in Colorado that look, or in the Denver metro area, that already look the same. But it is basically a way of seeing Christmas lights, but still maintaining social distancing. You're kind of experiencing a thing that you would normally do as like a group and go to some sort of like event to look at it, but you're self-contained. You're basically in a car, in your own car, driving through a little path that's made on an open area thing. Like in this case, it happens to be a parking lot at Bandimere Speedway, the local racetrack.
Oh, those are good parking lots. Big parking lots.
Huge parking lot. Yeah.
If there's one thing, if there's one thing race fans like, it's cars of their own. They really are big fans. Yeah.
That's right.
They love that stuff. Yeah.
They do. So it's like this whole big area mapped out, and then you're going through tunnels and through quote unquote weeds and quote unquote like, or snowmen or things like that, all lit up, all synchronized with an FM track that's constantly playing. So this constant FM playlist is going on, and it's all synchronized with these lights. So as you go through this tunnel, the lights are spinning, and it looks like the tunnel is spinning around you. You turn off your headlights, you turn off your daytime running lights, all that stuff, and just drive very, very slowly as the person in front of you through this thing. And it's playing All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, The Little Drummer Boy, the Chipmunks. And what's cool is they've got the snowman and the Santa Claus have little LED mouths, and they sing along or talk along with the songs. Do you want to build a snowman, et cetera, et cetera. If anyone is planning on going to one of these, check Groupon, because you can save about $20. And the 4 of us in one car, we paid about $20 to do it, or 18, I think.
Not bad. It's good.
No, it's totally, you know what? I was thinking, this is going to be lame. The kids wanted to do it. Yeah. I thought, it's going to be kind of lame. I actually really got a kick out of it. And they did an amazing job with the parts of it that you drive through, where the lights are almost acting in like a 3D kind of effect on your car, and it's kind of cool.
That sounds good. We have a thing here called, is it the Parade of... Shit, I forget. It's some kind of something of lights, and it's a similar thing. You're in your car. It's a bunch of old farm space, the point of the mountain, and you drive through this thing. It's super pretty and all that. I haven't done any of that this year. I really probably ought to do some of that.
It was actually, like I said, I was thinking it was going to be really lame. It was totally worth it with the Groupon. If I paid the $40 per car, I don't know if I would have thought it was as worth it. But for the 4 of us, $20, totally great. We went and got dinner afterwards. Went back to that Golden Mill dining hall, which was excellent. Really, really good.
Nice, very nice. Man, these dining halls are everywhere there for you. You guys got tons of them.
They are. They are springing up like crazy around me. There are...
Must be succeeding.
4 within a 15-minute drive of where I'm at, or 20-minute drive.
That's a lot.
Is a lot. Yeah. And they're great. It's, much better food than you get with the Orange Julius Sbarro food court.
Although that sounds all right to me right now, but that might be the current
Yeah, right. Yeah. That said, while I was driving through, sure enough, Last Christmas, the Wham version played.
Oh no.
And I lost. I'm out of the contest, Jerry. Whamageddon is over.
Brian walked in like Kramer and slammed his money on the table and said, I'm out.
I said, I'm out of the contest.
Oh, man.
I'm no longer the master of my domain.
So yesterday when Kim and I were driving somewhere, she says, I'm flipping around channels, and there was a Christmas channel. I go, you usually have this on this time of year. Why are you not playing me Christmas music? She goes, we're trying to win the contest, dear.
perfect for you because you love the streak games. This is a streak game.
Yeah,
How
it's a
many
streak
days in a row can you go?
I love a streak, dude. For real.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
broke.
you totally
I just
do.
lost my my sinus infection streak. It was 15 years. I haven't puked in 15. It was almost the same time, the same year actually.
I could have sworn you've had another sinus infection since we've done the show.
No, I've been sick, but never a
sinus
full-on infection. I did have bronchitis.
Okay. Yeah.
Technically, that was 2013. So I have a streak with bronchitis. I haven't had it since
Technically, it was 2013. How about non-technically? Was it another year? Or,
well, and then the first time I got strep, and only time I've had strep, was 2016. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing all right. You know, got a
doing all right. Yeah. So no sinus infection. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to see how much longer I can go. I still haven't puked. Do you think I'm going to puke this year, chat room? I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh God, no! You're not going to puke this year.
I got nothing to puke over.
Exactly.
I'm good. I'm trying to avoid people anyway, so I'm not going to get somebody's disease.
We'll tackle that in Vegas.
Yeah. Everybody's going to try to make me puke in Vegas now. Damn it!
It's now Who needs a challenge coin? We have a new challenge. It's make Scott puke.
Great. Can't freaking wait. All right. We're going to do something fun. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
I am too. We got something we haven't told anyone else about. And normally it's going to be on Thursdays, so it's a little weird today because we're kind of off a day. But let me play a little music and see what you guys think. Here you go. That sound means only one thing. It's time for a brand new segment called Readamentals. And until we find a better name, I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it'll work. But join us on the line, if you will. Red Fraggle, a.k.a. Amy, joining us as she will each and every Thursday moving forward. Hi, Amy. How are you? Oh, I don't hear
Oh,
her.
no. Well, there we go. All right, off to a...
I didn't test any audio ahead of time. I probably should have done that.
Shouldn't this be pronounced Redamentals? Because, A, she's Red Fraggle.
Oh, that's not bad. And then you could still do READ.
Yeah, to keep it pronounced the same, but Redamentals.
Okay, I'm in. She's doing some muting, some unmuting. I can see it.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, and still nothing. Don't hear anything. Checking.
No.
Amy, you there? I always usually check these things before. I just didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, we thought she was professional, I guess.
Bookeredes?
Bookeredes.
I don't know if that one rings as well. Hi, Amy, you there? I see her mic muting and unmuting, but I don't hear her. All right, here's what we'll do. I'll pause for a second. The show will pause, and then we'll work this out.
This reminds me of Nicole.
Yeah, there's a little
voice. Can you hear me now?
I think so.
We can hear you now. Sounds like you're on a room mic, but we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take you no matter how we get you. It's fine.
I am on my room. I'm so mad. So I set everything up. I had my old voiceover mic and its little house that I put it in to keep room noise out. I had my cans on and everything, and I tested it out, and I don't freaking know what happened.
Well, you know what's good. This is what's good for your heart.
Now I'm on my iPad, and this is what we get. So
this is what you're good. This is what's good for your heart is to have that happen in real time, and then know the kind of scramble you just went through. That is a real bummer. I apologize. Well, we could have worked it out before, but
we'll all lay on our side so we can look at her video. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, I'd blame it on your producer, which in this case is me, and I didn't test anything beforehand. So don't feel bad.
Like, okay, I plugged into Discord and everything, and I did the whole, go to the settings and make sure, okay, yeah, I can hear my own voice coming back, and I called my husband on Discord and said, hey, you can.
Yeah.
Yep. No, but I don't know. Whatever.
Discord have new ideas. But that's okay. Well, having you on an iPad's better than not having you at all. So we're glad to have you.
Exactly. That's what I figured. I was like, okay, this is right here. I'll just pop off and then pop back on.
Well, to give us an idea of the kind of reader you are before we give any recommendations, because I think that'd be interesting to people. You're obviously a big reader, but I don't know. What do you enjoy? What's the genres you end up spending most of your time in?
Oh, well, that's a great question. So I read a lot of things like speculative fiction, science fiction, and fantasy things. But I also do a lot of nonfiction, particularly if it's funny. I read a lot of things like the bloggers and stuff like that. But I'll save some of that because I have a whole list for this segment. So I don't want to spoil too much. But
sure.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I read lots of stuff, and I actually end up recommending a lot of books to my husband that like a lot of people haven't read before, and he's like, I've never heard of this book, and I'm like, oh, you gotta read it, it's great. So just random stuff that a lot of people maybe haven't heard of. But today is going to be a little more mainstream than that. People are probably going to be like, "Oh, I tuned in to hear this recommended. I've read it 5 times." But I thought it was probably timely because it's a good recommendation for the holidays. Is Terry Pratchett's Hogfather? I wanted.
So Terry Pratchett, I never read. I feel like an idiot because I've never read a Discworld book. I haven't read any of his anything, and everyone says you're an idiot. You should be reading Terry Pratchett. What's wrong with you? So I'm really glad to hear this. Okay, sorry.
I've even gotten recommendations from people saying if you haven't read any Ringworld, or Discworld, here's where you start. And I still haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so it's funny. I'll actually I'll see if I can send Scott this image that I have. There is a recommended reading order for Discworld because a lot of people have that same problem that you were having there, Scott, where it's like, my husband included, a lot of people are really intimidated because Terry Pratchett was so prolific. I mean, there are 41 novels in Discworld. Like, it's a lot.
It is.
Yeah. And it can be very intimidating. And my husband had read, I think the first novel in the series, which is called The Color of Magic, and hated it, did not like it at all. And so when he and I started dating and he asked me like, what kind of stuff do you like to read? And I said, oh, I love Terry Pratchett. And he was like, really? As I don't. And I said, no. Don't read The Color of Magic. It's garbage. Because even Sir Terry Pratchett, when he was alive, recommended starting with the 3rd book in the series, which is called Sorcery. I think those first 2 books in the Discworld series, which are The Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic, they're kind of like the early Simpsons episodes.
Okay. It's like season 1. It's like a bad pilot, and the first 3 episodes of any season of anything are kind of garbage in retrospect. That sounds like that's what this is.
Yeah. And it's like, it's kind of like in those early Simpsons episodes, they're very Bart-centric, right? And that was before they had figured out that Homer was the money man, right? Like, Homer was where all the good stuff was. They hadn't figured that out yet. And so same with Terry Pratchett. He hadn't figured out that Death was actually the protagonist and shouldn't be the villain. And so, and he's a much more interesting character than, Rincewind, who is the main character of those first couple of novels.
Oh my gosh, there's so many of these. I just was looking on Goodreads. Are there really 83 that are either straight up Discworld novels or connected to Discworld, like folklore backup novels and stuff like that? That is a lot. That's a lot.
Oh yeah,
that is a lot.
There are short stories. There's illustrated novels. There are little kids books. Actually, there's one little kids book called Where's My Cow, which is hilarious. I actually got it for my son when he was a baby, and I used to read it out loud to him, and it kind of goes along with a full novel because one of the characters reads that same book to his son every night. And then, like, when he's in a situation where he can't get home in time to read it to him, he starts sort of reciting it and going a little bit crazy. It's really fun.
How meta.
Yeah, how very meta.
It is. It's really fun. But yeah, there is a ton, and that's what's great is if you get into some of the Terry Pratchett stuff, even though sadly he has passed on, there's plenty. There is tons of stuff that you can get into and enjoy, and yeah, there is a little bit of a reading order to it, and there's some stuff that it builds on itself plot wise, but you really don't have to get hung up on reading it in order. You can jump in pretty much wherever, and he's going to set the stage for you. He does a wonderful job of building the world, and it's a really, Discworld is a really great place to escape into. I love it. One of
my least favorite things in the world are, top 10 or top 50 lists, because generally speaking, you can't. It's only going to work for whoever agrees with that list, and everyone's got different opinions. But according to the data on Goodreads, which is positive reviews versus negative reviews, Terry Pratchett's Night Watch, which is Discworld book 29. It's tied actually with City Watch number 6. So they're claiming book 29 and book 6 are the best books to get, and then they go down from there. You wouldn't recommend reading it in that order, right? That'd be weird because they don't stand alone in that way, or do they?
Yeah, I mean, so Night Watch is by far one of the best books in the entire series, for sure. But I think there's a lot you'd be missing. There's a lot of background on some of the guards' characters that you wouldn't necessarily get. You wouldn't understand why Sam Vimes, who is the protagonist of Night Watch, you wouldn't necessarily get why he's motivated to do things the way he is if you haven't read the rest of the guards novels. So I'll see if I can send you this. There's this great little Discworld reading order guide, and so maybe we can share it in the chat. But I'll send you that, because it is actually really good, because it breaks down. Discworld is a whole bunch of worlds all in one. So there are the series of witches. There's all the books about Death, and Death is a great character. Death is like if Data were also the Grim Reaper.
Okay.
You know, like he's like fascinated with humans and what makes humans humans, and almost to an unhealthy degree, because he's then also responsible for, you know, reaping their souls when they die.
Sure.
And so it's really entertaining. And if you've read Good Omens, it's a very similar character to Death in Good Omens.
Okay. Yeah, and I have read that and seen obviously the show. And that was a collaboration between him and Neil Gaiman. Yeah. Right. And I always wondered how much, because that's the only Pratchett I've been exposed to. So I wondered how much of that was him or how much of that was Gaiman. In tone and stuff, these Discworld games. I keep saying games. These Discworld books.
You really want a video game, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. Are there any Discworld games? Or probably
Man,
not.
I would love for there to be. That would be awesome.
I've heard people talk about that forever, like an MMO. Somebody should make an MMO based on Discworld, which could be really cool. But anyway, would you say it's closer? Like, what's his style? Is it closer to like Douglas Adams, or is it closer to I don't know. I can't think of another contemporary. Neil Gaiman, yeah. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So you got Neil Gaiman here, and you got Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams is all about irony, humor, satire. I mean, it's story and characters, but he's also teaching us something. It's philosophical in all those ways. And and in my head, I put Terry Pratchett in that category. But am I wrong to do that?
No, I think you're spot on there. Like, I think it is hard for me, because I read also a lot of Neil Gaiman. And I try, every time I read Good Omens, which is kind of an embarrassing number of times, I find myself trying really hard to pick out which is which, like who wrote which part. And I can't ever tell. They did, and apparently they did so much, the way that they wrote Good Omens, they did so much back and forth, that it really all got very jumbled up in the end anyway.
Yeah.
So because they wrote that when they were just two dudes messing around writing a book. You know, they weren't Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett yet. So they were, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would say that he's Terry Pratchett's tone and whatnot. It does lean a little more towards the Douglas Adams side. He's got very tongue-in-cheek, kind of dry British humor. Mm-hmm. And you know, and there is kind of a philosophy involved. Like, for instance, Hogfather, which is the one that I was recommending for today. It's sort of Discworld's takedown of Christmas. Because you know, everything has an analog in Discworld. It's not none of the stuff is actually the same, but there's always an analog for it.
Sure.
So, you know, in Discworld, they have Hogswatch instead of Christmas. And so kids leave out their stockings, and like the Hogfather, who's literally like a giant pig in a Santa suit, comes in and leaves them pork pies, you know, in their stockings. And
nice.
You know, and also clothes and our toys.
Is it bad that I feel like I may prefer his version? It sounds all right.
I know, right? It's great. And instead of milk and cookies, like, I think you leave out like a snifter of brandy for the Hogfather. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly or not.
Nice.
But
that's great.
Yeah. So the Hogfather talks a lot about like the structure of and the importance of belief and like kind of the power of belief, and how what you believe frames your reality. And so on Discworld, whatever you believe is real. So children who believe that there is a boogeyman under their bed, there is a boogeyman under their bed. And and then when we grow up, we have to believe in the little things when we're little, so that when we grow up, we can believe in big things that don't really exist, like justice.
Right. Exactly. So Wayne, is this, I mean, would you qualify this as science fiction, qualify it as fantasy, some kind of cross in between?
Fantasy.
Okay.
Definitely. It's definitely fantasy.
Right.
Because there's magic, and there's, in Discworld, there are witches and wizards, and in fact, wizards show up a bunch in Hogfather, and the wizards are really funny. They're really goofy, kind of bumbling characters. But yeah, it's great. And, the tooth fairies are flying around and things like that. But the tooth fairies are more like the postal service. Like there's not one tooth fairy. There's like a whole tooth fairy enterprise.
Yeah. Are they also all screwed up and everything's late right now? Or are they doing better?
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, the tooth fairies.
Oh, interesting. Look at that.
Play a pivotal role. Yes. So there's a shortage of tooth fairies.
Yeah. Oh, there is a Discworld video game. Let's see. Discworld: The Trouble with Dragons, graphic adventure. So these were text-based. Oh, no, this is graphic. So it's more like a point-and-click thing. This came out in...
like King's Quest kind of thing, maybe?
Yeah. I think kind of like that. Like
LucasArts.
Yeah, good comparison. Let's see. I'm trying to find a date. So it's older. I just think maybe now's the time to approach that work with, modern ideas in mind. I think they could really make something. And I know so little about it. I just know that it's beloved by the fans. People, freak out about it. But it's pretty crazy to hear people say, don't read the first book of a famous series.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, I mean, like I say, even the author says, just skip it. Like, The Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic. Bleh, don't even bother.
Why is that, do you think? You just felt like he wasn't quite the writer he would be, or what was the problem?
Well, okay. So I can tell you my opinion, because I read them both, and my opinion on it is they still both had kind of like that Terry Pratchett quality to them, where there was the humor coming out, but I think he was laying it on a little too thick, and none of the characters, you didn't really like any of the characters. Those first two books had back in the late 90s, early 2000s, remember how indie movies were trying to be really, really realistic to the point where by the end of the movie, you hated everybody in the movie?
Kind of, yeah. I didn't, yeah.
And there was literally nobody to like in a movie. And so I used to call that indie movie disease. And those first two Discworld novels kind of suffer from indie movie disease. Like, I just don't like anybody in them. And, Rincewind is this wizard who's even more of a bungling idiot than the rest of the wizards in Discworld, and but he can't cast any spells because he, like, this big giant spell that takes up his whole brain got stuck in his brain, but every time he almost dies, the spell almost comes out and says itself, and he escapes from death. So he pisses death off a lot.
That sounds like fun. I think this sounds like a great time. Somebody in the chat posted something about this, and I looked it up on IMDb. There is a Hogfather TV movie that came out in 2006. I think it was a BBC thing.
Yes, and it's available on Amazon Prime, and it's actually really good. I've seen a couple of other Terry Pratchett adaptations that weren't so great, but it is really, really true to the source material, and it's a really good watch. And it's, like I say, it's fun because it's all very holiday centric.
It's got a great cast: Michelle Dockery, David Warner. It's got 7.5 on what is this, IMDb? I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know. I'm sick of this crap Kim's watching. Maybe I'll watch this.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest that, you could, that is a holiday thing that you would enjoy, that you could totally get Kim to watch, and it would be fun because it is holiday centric. It's got all the holly and jolly and other things that rhyme with Ollie, and
Nice. I'm into it. I'm trying to see where it's available. Tubi, Acorn, Pluto, IMDb
she
TV.
said, Amazon Prime.
Oh, Prime has
Amazon
it?
Prime,
Oh, you said Prime. Okay, cool. Oh, they don't show it on the... Just Watch doesn't have it on Prime, weirdly. But
Oh, weird.
they could be wrong. They're wrong sometimes. I've noticed. I've had a few where it's like, wait, you said Alien 3 was here, and then it is there, but it's not on there.
And and you were saying the first, The Color of Magic you can skip. What about, did you see The Color of Magic 2008 film with Tim Curry and Sean Astin?
What?
I did. And
I guess it was a series. Okay.
That's a weird. Sean Astin is such a weird choice for that character because he's supposed to be. So all right. That's another problem with those first couple of stories. It's a little racist. Like there's
great.
Like the character that Sean Astin is playing is this guy named Two Flower, and he's supposed to be like a stereotypical Asian tourist. Like that's the way he's written in the story, is like he's got a giant what Discworld passes for a camera. Like cameras don't exist in Discworld, but like, it's a box with an imp in it who comes out and paints a picture, that kind of thing. And he's, he wears loud Hawaiian shirts, and he's, so Sean Astin was a weird casting choice for that. I think maybe they were trying to lean away from the fact that it was supposed to be a takedown of that stereotype, and but I don't know. That one didn't work for me because you would think it would, because it didn't stick very closely to the source material. There was a lot of stuff where I was like, that didn't happen in the book, which you would think would make it better, but because
depends on which direction they go. Like, let's see if we can make something that's worse than the first couple books.
Yeah,
Great.
That's true.
Right.
But you don't think it's a problem. You start with 3 and you're good. You don't need to do anything else, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and I sent you, and I don't know if you can see in the Discord. There's this reading order. It looks like a, like a role playing games map, but it is really great, and there's a whole series on the guards, and you can follow them. And I gobbled up all the guards books one night after the other.
Wow.
And they're fantastic. The first Discworld novel I ever read was actually Thief of Time, and it's like right in the middle. I didn't follow that whole path or anything, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm into this. And I really enjoyed that. Small Gods is also really good. Small Gods is one, if you're really into the whole philosophy of things, that one is a really good one to read, because it's less about the tongue-in-cheek humor and more about like making you think about kind of, again, the power of belief, and how if somebody believes something, then for them it is really true.
Yeah. Discworld's like flat Earth. It's like a flat earther. People are into the flat Earth.
Totally is, yeah.
You believe it hard enough.
Yeah, like Discworld is a flat Earth, and in fact, the part of the plot of Small Gods is that there's this like heretic sect that believes that the Earth is round, and
of course, yeah.
And like,
that's great.
It just turns that whole thing on its ear.
Well, I love it. I've been meaning to for years. It's time to do it. I think it's finally time to maybe pick those up. And I'll start with, like, you. If you're suggesting 3, I'll just begin there and go from there. Right? That's how I should do it.
Yeah, that was what Terry Pratchett suggested. Now, I think you can pretty much pick up any of these books from wherever, and he does a pretty good job of introducing you to everything. So you can't really go wrong. But if you want to start, Terry Pratchett suggested starting with the book Sorcery, but that one, again, that's got Rincewind, and it's kind of I don't like Rincewind as a character.
Oh, interesting.
I love the Watch novels, Scott. I think you will really like the Guards novels, like the Watch novels. So if you want to start with that. Yeah. You could start with Guards.
And they are kind of standalone. I don't have to know
self-contained.
Self-contained.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They are all like self-contained stories. The character development continues throughout the novels, but you certainly don't have to it's not where, they don't leave you on a cliffhanger. They wrap everything. He wraps everything up.
Oh, good. Well, I can't be having no cliffhangers anymore in my life, so I'm down. Well, great. That's awesome. Anything else you want to mention today?
Yeah. So if you want to, you got a few more days. I can probably, if anybody wants to order some peepers, from peeperspuppets.com.
All right.
I have a few more days where I can actually probably get them to you if you
perfect
order
stocking stuffer.
Yeah, that's very good.
They are a perfect stocking stuffer. Little handheld puppets. Let's see.
You know what else is good? Amy's a good follow on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, go search for Red Fraggle. I think it's just Red Fraggle 3 again on TikTok, right?
Yeah, I think I'm Red Fraggle 3 on TikTok, and I'm actually about to start a new series on TikTok where a puppet and I do a reading of a hashtag that I created years ago called Chuck Says Weird Stuff.
Oh, very nice.
Because my husband is really good at saying things that sound really strange out of context.
Yeah.
And so I just type them up and put them on Twitter. and then I go back years later and they're really funny because I don't remember the context.
That's great.
That sounds
so
all right.
I'm gonna start a TikTok series called Chuck Says Weird Stuff where a puppet and I sit there and read his old Chuck Says Weird Stuffs.
I love it.
That's great.
That's very cool. Well, all right then. We're really glad to be doing this with you. It's fun. I like books.
Thanks for having me. Between now and next week, we'll see if I can get my audio straightened out.
Yeah, we'll figure all that out. I probably should have anyway. I just didn't think about it. I was too excited about having you on, and then we just skipped over the tech.
The whole technical process of making sure it'll work. Yeah.
But anyway, it's been great having you on. Next week we'll do it again. It'll be Thursday this time, everybody. And if any of you out there have books you want to throw at us or recommendations that we can throw past Amy before we do shows and that sort of thing, let us know. themorningstream@gmail.com. Amy, have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
See me.
All right, that's cool.
Very
I like it. I'm into books.
Good segment. I like it.
Yep. I got all my favorite things get talked about on the show. Books, comic books, movies, TV. What else video games? What else do I need?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And Thursday's quickly turning into highbrow, right? Like it's books and therapy.
Yeah, very highbrow.
As opposed to comic books and making shit.
Yep. Think of Amy as the waiting room where you're reading some awesome book and then you go and then they say Wendy's ready for you and then you get up and you go and get your therapy.
And then at the end we say, I'm sorry, our time is up.
Oh, but I'll bill you $300 for that hour. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to play a mashup. How about that?
Yes, sounds good.
How about that? We're going to finish things out today with a rad mashup from our friends, or our friend rather, TMS Mashups, Jamie Brand, who made this thing, and it's called Undocking Your Elk. This is a BII, which stands for... Hold on.
Brian Ibn Impersonations.
Oh, there we go. Oh, good. Brian, you excited? This is you, man.
I am excited. Well, I'm excited and nervous, because sometimes I hear those and think... who the hell is that supposed to be?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
But here it is now.
And I imagine the listeners really think that.
Some of them, but most of them are wrong. So here's you doing a bunch of those. Enjoy.
It's Brownbeard, here to board my ship and take my booty.
Step aside, I've come for your booty.
How you doing there today? My name is Colin Bryan.
You should put an O in the middle. Colin O'Brien. The O stands for orgasm. No, I don't know what it would be.
The big O.
The big
Yes.
O. The big O'Brien.
Yeah, you're coming in.
Yeah, you got. It's not at
Yeah.
the courthouse though. It's over here.
We need yous to be at the courthouse at 9 o'clock.
You better bring a piece.
I don't know if he was pretending to be a badass or something.
I couldn't tell. It's pretty bad.
It was a badass little pistol he had there.
We were all impressed by it until he shot
There
himself.
was no safety button.
Hey, Marge, guess how many boobs I saw today? 13! My player's card, I can't get it out. Let me pull harder. No!
Oh no!
Oh, look at your wieners growing under the bubbly water. I can't believe that Hugh Hefner would pay to be put next to Marilyn Monroe. What a dick.
I was starting to chafe, so I had to get Alfred to come pick me up.
Yep, that red squirrel come behind and run on the front wheel, run all the way up to the front.
You damn squirrels always riding as you don't.
Speaking of Mike Judge. Well, we come up with some Kiss-branded flash drives.
Oh, this is a great idea, Gene. Let's get on this. Why haven't we done this before? What is a flash drive anyway? What is it? I'm Paul Stanley.
You were so busy wondering if you could. You didn't even stop to think if you should.
You are going to have really hairy deer on this dinosaur tour.
That Ariel.
Yeah, she had seashells.
But only when she's got legs. Not when she's half fish.
I don't like half fish, but she got seashells on her boobies. Yeah. Yeah, why is
Except
it?
she doesn't know what a fork is.
Ooh, good pull. I forgot about that bit with the fork.
Satan protected me from catching COVID.
Why are they cutting his antlers and not the thing? What? It would have fitted
It wouldn't have fitted off, says Claire Gack.
What does that mean? English, please. Look.
It wouldn't have fitted off. Undunk your elk, says Stevie Seagal.
Oh, great as usual. That was awesome. Nicely
Oh, my
done.
God.
Oh, half
Some of those just kind of generic, makes me feel better, right? When they're not supposed to sound like a certain person. I mean, as J.K. Grammer, my Jeff Goldblum always devolves into Jimmy Stewart. I need to figure out the secret sauce that separates the two because they are very similar.
Maybe you start out as Jimmy Stewart and it evolves into Jeff Goldblum.
Look at you. Like turn it around the other way.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's life lesson learned, everyone, right now.
That's right. Wow.
Well, we've done a show, and you've all been here. Thank you for being here. Sorry about the weird up and off things this week. We had the COVID test. It was all me. Brian's fine. Brian did nothing.
Yeah, I had my
ordinary.
butt examined last week, and that was we missed a show for that, but that's it.
Yeah, mine was just it's always morning. I know most people do morning things. I know that's how appointments work. I get it.
Yeah.
And we're weird because we do this thing and whatever, but most people take their lunch break or whatever, but not us. We make a show in the morning. Anyway, we're glad to have done it. Don't forget, normally this PM edition of the show is only available for patrons on Fridays. So if you want to be a part of that, you got to go to patreon.com/TMS. Think of this as a free little taster today.
Ooh, little taster. Sample. Free sample.
You want free sample? You want free sample? How long's that chicken been on that plate? No free sample? Okay. Anyway, if you want part of that, you got to go to patreon.com/TMS. There's no other way to do it. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. Brian, grand tradition says we need to go now and you have to play a song. What is it?
We do. One quick thing before we go. In about half an hour, because it's always after TMS PM, I've got Guess the Connection. Big prize, couple of Funko Pops, still mint in box. I'm going to be giving away today because
Nice.
This one's a challenge. This one is going to be very difficult. So if somebody gets this, they're going to be earning a really good prize. So that'll be in about half an hour at twitch.tv/Coverville. Forgot where my channel was. Twitch.tv/Coverville.
That happens. It's all good.
Okay, now let's get to this.
Yeah.
Daryl in Ohio wrote in, said, "Hello, Scort and Byron.
Ew.
December 3rd marked my 10-year anniversary with my wonderful, beautiful wife. I hope the Tadpool will help us celebrate with many more years to come and enjoy this amazingly raucous cover of the Magnetic Field song 100,000 Fireflies, performed by the masters of using guitar feedback as a note, Superchunk. Requesting this song for a Monday show because Dunaway, Bill, and Steven are my favorite." Oh, sorry. Major spoilers for President 2024, hashtag.
Wow.
Okay, Daryl in Ohio. Well, guess what? I didn't. I'm playing it today, and I hope you like that.
Yeah.
This is, so congratulations on your anniversary, on your 10-year anniversary. I guess that is the Firefly anniversary. Here is 100,000 Fireflies, originally by Magnetic Fields. This is from Superchunk.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
What kind of a deal?
What kind of a deal?
Oh, that kind of a deal, clearly.
That's the kind of deal.